Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning to you. Ringing the bell on that one, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Today is the 13th. Wow, this month is flying, right? Welcome to the 13th day of January. Enero. Remember that? Yep, there it is. Spanish, still got it. 8th grade. Enero. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, enero, febrero. I wrote a song once back then so I could remember all of them for the test. It was either that or write them up my arm, and I'd already been busted once. So the song it was. So anyway, good morning, everybody. I'm in a good, silly mood, as you can tell. It's a beautiful day here in the Chicagoland area. How are things looking in your neck of the woods? Put it in the comments. I'm so excited you're here. How's your 2022 going so far? You know, I'm going to tell you, listen up now. 80% of all people who make New Year's resolutions have abandoned those resolutions, they say, by the day, which would be the 15th of February. So we're just about almost a month out. So what are you going to do right now to prove that statistic wrong? What are you going to do to put some support behind that vision? What are you going to do to not only set that intention, pulling the bow back in the arrow, but to release it and send that intention? Setting the intention's only half of it, y'all. Let's keep it real. You know, that's if you don't send it, you just wish it, right? How do you do that? How do you send the intention instead of just setting it? Well, do things, first of all, that you mean, because the moment you mean it, it becomes meaningful somewhere in this universe. And secondly, don't do what you want. Think about that. The reason I say that is because want comes with a wish list. But when you need something to happen, I need this to work. I need this to be. I need to get this done. Well, need comes with a plan. and you're well on your way. Have you never heard the term, don't you love it when a great plan comes together? Right? It's just like when people complain about all the pains as they grow in life. Why do you think, have you heard of growing tickles? I haven't. That's why they're called growing pains. That's how you know you're getting somewhere, right? Take that pain and keep on moving. Can I get an amen? Boom, there we go. At this point of the show, as always, welcome. Won't you please help me welcome my sidekick? This is my version of Ed McMahon. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. I know we talked about it the other day. Nicole Kidman played the role. I'm Lucy. I love me some Lucy, y'all. Look back there. The books are back there. The dolls are back there. Somebody gave me another one, a little weird one with a great. Look at this, great big giant head on it. One of the fans sent this in. Thank you, Daniel Echeverria of Camden, New Jersey. So he sent me this one. It's from the Chocolate Factory. You know when she was, yeah, that one. So anyway, why was I even talking about that? Well, I don't know. Call it a senior moment. It's my show. That's the great thing about it. You can go all over the place. Nobody even knows unless you tell on yourself like I just did. Listen, you guys, coming up August. Lord Jesus, now that was a senior moment. Oh well. It's a part of getting old. I'm serious. You know why I don't mind those things anymore? I used to think that getting old, or getting older, aging, let's say this, the aging process, that it was a challenge. It's not a challenge. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. So I take all that comes with it. What's the alternative? Think about it. Chicago, April 28th at the beautiful Stan Mansion. We're back. It'll be our second time hosting the Power of We Symposium there. We did the first one back in 2019. Shot off down to the Dirty South, took it down to Atlanta. If you guys remember, in 2019, where afterwards we received an award. About 8 weeks later, we were summoned to New York City, where the United Nations gave us an award for our work with our youth in all these cities. So we're back to do it all over again, and we want you there. Head over to powerofwesymposium.com and find out what we're doing. You might want to be a part of it. I know you will. And then head over to Eventbrite or click the tab at the website, powerofwesymposium.com, or go in and, like I said, just Google Power of We Symposium Chicago on Eventbrite. Grab your tickets. They started selling 2 months ago. Space is limited, and you know why. So get yours today. We'll see you there, April 28th. For the Power of We Symposium. So today, an illuminated conversation. I'm so excited about it. I just went over the holidays. We had 2 of my coaching clients, Jeanette Ramos and her son, Daniel came here from the East Coast. And one of the things we did was we took them down. I had never seen it. Brian, my husband, put this together. I was so happy. It was amazing. The Picasso immersive exhibit. And, you see the ads and stuff on Facebook, on your phone, and ooh, that looks fun. But it's not the same as when you're inside there and the walls are just melting and the floor with all this incredible art. And you just feel like, I'm going to tell you how I felt. I felt, if you haven't gone, go. If you've gone, you know what I'm talking about. Put it in the comments if you agree. But I really felt literally like something, purpose, whatever is greater than us, had actually lifted me up by my toes and dipped me inside of Legacy Freon. Think about that. I'm serious. I was like, from head to toe, I felt like I was inside the heart, the golden circle of Legacy, because I was. And it was just beautiful. So I don't know. My in-laws are art connoisseurs. They have an art broker. They have tons of art, right? And they know everything about it. And, I've gone to exhibits and things, and I stand back. It's like when you're in the grocery store, when you're trying to lose weight and you see people looking at the labels. I used to do that, just stand there reading them, didn't know what I was looking for, but everybody else was doing it. So they know I'm serious about losing the weight, right? So when I see people at those exhibits, you see them standing back. Right? So I used to do that, but this thing kind of broke the shell. This immersive thing, it kind of, instead of me trying to figure it out, it figured it out for me. So today we have an artist, a Chicago artist, young man by the name of Alexander Tsavov, and he is going to share with us what art means today to his peers and his work. We're going to see a lot of great work here today. And so we want to get him in here right now so that we can start this illuminated conversation. Now, you might remember, Alexander, from back in the beginning of COVID, we had a television special, 90 minutes, with young people from all across the country. We started in the East, came here to the Midwest, the Central Time Zone. Then we went to Mountain. Then we got the kids out on the West Coast final. And then we had one of each or two of each, I forget, come in at the end for a recap. And Alexander represented our college students at that time. So he's back. He's graduated now, grown ass man, out there working. I bet he ain't paying rent though. You know how them kids are now. They be 40 years old still. I'm just playing. If I lived in that big, let me hush. He happens to be the son of Chera, my good friend, who Chera Stan Manchin, put it together, right? But he's also like this great chef. I heard. I don't know. They'll never invite me to dinner, but at least send me some leftovers because I heard he can cook, y'all. And like black people say when people can sing, they say they can sang, S-A-N-G. Well, he can cook. That's 4 O's, C-O-O-O-O-K. Okay. So listen, put your hearts on the screen. Okay. But more importantly, put your hearts into this conversation as we bring to our stage today, Alexander Tsavov. Here it comes, y'all. Is one funky little countdown clock. I love it. Hi, Alexander. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for the brilliant introduction.
Oh, well, you notice I didn't even read your bio, but I'm going to. Well, you're welcome. Everything about you that I said is absolutely true. And, even if I didn't believe it, I'd say it because I don't want your mother sending a black van up and down my street. What'd you say? What you say about my baby? I'm kidding. I just love your mom. I love your dad. I love your sister. And for all of you out there that this is your first time meeting Alexander, here's a little something to help you out. He says that he's a multimedia artist. We'll talk about that. And he's also a recent graduate of the School of the Art Institute of Chicago with a Bachelor in Fine Arts in Printmaking and Visual Communications. We'll talk about that. What's printmaking, right? Stuff they didn't even have when I was in school. He says that much of his artwork deals with the combination of mediums to process and recontextualize. By the way, Alexander, there's a 6-syllable rule on this show. No words with more than 6 syllables.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. So you made it. There's 5 in that one. Memories. We want to talk about that. I don't even know what that means. Memories and emotions. Sounds interesting. He often ties in his multicultural background to his pieces as a way for him to come to a better understanding of his own identity. So since graduating from schools, he's primarily been focusing on his job, which is at a wonderful restaurant. If you haven't been there in downtown Chicago, I highly recommend booking a trip to Chicago just to go there. And that's no joke. That's the truth. We're talking about the Fulton Market Kitchen. He's the marketing director and the art director, ought to be the chef from what I hear. And he's organized a number of gallery shows and live painting events with Chicago artists. So sounds like you have been absolutely busy since you graduated. How's it feel? And let's start. First of all, Alexander, say hello to everybody. Tell them where you're. Well, we already did, but you can tell them where you're at. And then tell us how you got started. When did you know? When did you start showing? The artsy part of you. When was it coming up? Was it with crayons? Was it when you were in high school? What was it? So go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I am in my home little studio here. I'm sure you can tell from all the artwork in the background. And I suppose, I was always fiddling with art when I was a little kid. My mom had a lot of artist friends, a lot of like eccentric foreign artist friends that would come over and they would introduce me to different techniques and they'd have me draw with them. And I remember those moments being like some of the earliest moments when I would be picking up the pen and expressing myself. But also like throughout middle school, I used to get in trouble a lot for doodling like in the corner of my assignments and in my notebooks. I get those taken away by my professors. And all throughout middle school and high school, I was sketching and I was doing this and that, but I never really took it seriously. No one ever told me that being an artist was something that you could really do and pursue for the rest of your life.
It's like a real career.
Yeah.
Right. They always, that I'm gonna just keep it real, Alexander. Back in the day, everybody, you might as well. I kind of got that when I said I'm going into communications. It was kind of like, that's one of those easy things. You're trying to go to school where you don't have to take a lot of math and shit, right? So, but but a lot of people used to think like, oh, that means he'll never really work. That kind of a thing. Like, what are the odds, right? So, has that changed?
Yeah, I think it really has. The hardest thing was convincing my mom, of course, that this would be something I could do. She was keen on sending me to a really good school so I could study economics or study business and make some real money. And I tried that. I tried that for a year, and it wasn't working out for me. And I was spending more time in my dorm room making art than I was really focusing on my econ exam. I mean, who can blame me? It's not like macroeconomics is terribly interesting,
right? Ugh.
Yeah. So after that, I told my mom, I was like, I wanna devote myself 100% to something, and art is something that I really want to do. And transferred to SAIC, and ever since then, I think that was like the best decision I've made in my life so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, a lot of people, especially parents and stuff, they really think that when a kid says that that's what they want to do, that, that's like, oh, shit. They're right. So was there a lot of pushback? And I don't mean just like in with your family and stuff. What about, like, say, for instance, you have a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
What about, did you meet her parents yet?
I have.
Okay, so remember that first time? You all nervous and stuff, right? Did she go to the art school too?
Yeah, she's there right now. Actually, she's in her last semester. So that wasn't a problem.
Don't count. We already got them, right?
Yeah, and when I met them, I was already post-graduated. I had a real job and all that stuff. So they're like, he's figured it out. So,
but do you ever see it on people's faces when you say, "Oh yeah," especially when you were still in there? Because it's kind of exciting. People see you, and you did go to Paris. We're going to talk about that, but you had to come back early because of the COVID, the pandemic. But that's what people picture: Paris, the little hat, sitting out on the street with your easel and stuff, in the music playing. So, was Paris like that? What was it like being around all those artists that came from, I would imagine, all over the world?
Oh, it was brilliant. And admittedly, I did my fair share of that, sitting on, street corners with the cappuccino, sketching the streets and all that. I mean,
you did?
Yeah.
So it can be in your book one day, your memoirs and stuff. So when they tell the story,
hopefully one day I'll give them my sketchbook.
No, it will be. Trust me. I already know. You forget. I know your mama. So it will be. You better. So listen.
For her sake, I better be.
And really quickly, so I don't forget to give a shout out to her, your sweet, sweet sister. Now she's following in your footsteps. Do you think she would have gone? She's at the same school you graduated from, which we have a niece, Brian and I have a niece, Emma, who's actually at that very same school, the Art Institute. Now, do you think your sister made that decision based on watching you, or would she have done it anyway?
Well, that is a really hard question to answer. I know everyone is a product of their environment, so I feel like there's definitely some influence there, but I think she made that decision on her own accord. Like, she has a real passion for the arts and making, and like, she loves expressing herself. So I think there's like that was a genuine decision on her part. But of course, I showed her, perhaps you could make the argument that I showed her that this is like, a viable decision that she could make.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something about your sister. I'll never forget the first day I met her. It was at my first event, the Power of We, and your mom had her down in the coat check room, right? Her and her little friend were sitting there, and I didn't know who she was. She was just in junior high. I thought she was a grown woman because she was so smart, right? She had this big ass book, and she was like, and she wouldn't even look up. She was reading it. She was answering questions I was asking, and I was like, "Well, who are you? You kind of look familiar because you look just like your mom." And so I realized how smart she is. She could do anything. I mean, absolutely anything. Your mom's one humdinger of an entrepreneur, right? So I see all that through and through in your sister. Your whole family, your uncle, your dad's a doctor, right? You got all this stuff going on, all this high level stuff. And then there's you artists. Now, I'm going to tell you about your sister too. I saw a pair of pants that told a story. Those pants, look here, right? I'm serious. If it wasn't not age appropriate for me, I'd probably say get me some of those. But let's talk about, so that's something you two have in common, because I saw that coat that you've done. I want to show that later, that mustard coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw a girl in it too. That must be your girlfriend. Who else would you let wear that thing?
Ex-girlfriend, but
oops. Sorry, girlfriend.
no,
Present.
it's cool. We're on good terms.
Bring up that wound. So, but I love the coat. And what is that called when people are putting art on clothing? I just did a photo shoot for Heart of Hollywood magazine cover, and I wore a jacket that took 9 months to get here, but it's covered in art, and I loved it. It's so expressive, and it's different, you know. So what is that? Is that what is it in your bio? And I said I wanted to know what it meant.
Printmaking.
Printmaking, is that what that is?
In that, yeah, with the jacket that I made, that's printmaking. You know.
Okay. What's the difference from printmaking and painting?
Well, there's a variety of printmaking practices. This one in particular is screen printing. So that T-shirt you're wearing, that's screen printed.
Right.
Yeah. So anything like that. So fundamentally, actually, give me 2 seconds. I can show you.
Okay, good. I like that. I can show you better than I can tell you.
See this? This is a screen. So basically what you do is you take one of these and you take an image and you create a negative and you imprint this negative on here, and it's like a big stencil.
And then how did you get all that onto that? This is like a full out, it looks like it's either cashmere or wool, that coat, that winter coat that you did. How did you get it onto there?
So then you have like these they're squeegees, and you cover the screen with that stencil with ink, and then you squeegee the ink onto the fabric. Then you let it dry and all that.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't never color in the lines, none of that. Stick people have foreheads, all kinds of stuff. They told me no. Better hope you can sing or dance. That's all they said to me. But what about when you're doing it? Say you mess up a little, you got to start all over. You got to get another garment.
Well, it depends how particular you are. The way I designed that series, the idea was each piece was going to be a little bit different. Each piece was going to have its own imperfections, because it's not perfect. Like the way that the screen interacts with the fabric every time you print it is going to be a little bit different depending on, let's say you're printing on denim versus printing on cotton, or if you're trying to print over a seam, or if you're printing on flat fabric. There's like this interplay between the screen itself and the fabric that you're manipulating that generates these really interesting, like unique little moments. So that's like the beauty of it, is that every piece that you make with that process, the way I was doing it at least, you generate something unique every time.
So Alexander, when you decide to do what you're doing, and this is a real question, I really would like to know. You know, say so someone's going to school, they say I want to be a doctor. Somebody say you wanted to follow, your sister was following in your dad's footsteps. So she'd know she's going to go to this school, then she's going to go to medical school, blah, 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 blah. So, and she knows I want to specialize one day in plastic surgery or whatever. You can see, oh yeah, that's where I'm headed, right there down the road. But as an artist, it seems like you develop as the world changes, because you have to, it just feels that way. So what is the greatest challenge, would you say, would be the greatest challenge to mapping out your future when you're an artist? Well,
one thing that I've been trying to do is, I find somebody in the real world that inspires me or that's doing something that I want to do. And, I'll just Google them. I'll look them up on Wikipedia. I'll see what they did. And it's like, okay, so they went to this school, they worked with this person, they went to this company, whatever. It's like, okay, so if I want to get somewhere around here, I want to have a studio like this guy, I want to make work like that person. Okay, so I follow their map, and then I see what's around me. It's like, okay, I can do this. Okay, I have to go here. So like, for example, there's, this guy, Daniel Arsham. He's a brilliant, he started as an interior designer, went to school for architecture, and now he has his own studio. So I follow someone like Daniel Arsham and I see, okay, so he studied this. and he is applying his studies in this way. He creates these beautiful sculptures, and he has these incredible gallery shows. And it's just finding inspiration in people like that and trying to like follow their footsteps in a way, but at the same time, I got to do it my own way. So seeing how their path intersects with my path, what I can do with the resources I have available to me, and figuring out for myself. But there's a lot of uncertainty. So
yeah, there you go. That's a big word right there. That's
Yeah.
a big word. And it's perfect segue into my next question for you, because it would seem to me to be a serious artist. And when I say serious artist, I mean not a hobbyist. Somebody who's going to do stuff, put together shows, try to put together shows. You got to present them to galleries, and they got to tell you yay or nay, this, that, and the other. And you see peers getting things, and maybe you're not. There's a lot of pressure. And so what do you do to not, first of all, take your own self too seriously, but then most importantly, how do you not carry rejection or what people think? Because art is there for people to judge.
Of course.
It's right there. Like, here, what do you think? Right?
Yeah.
How do you process the different responses from people when it comes to your work?
Fundamentally, you have to believe in yourself first and foremost. That's the most important part. And then after that, if someone one day doesn't like your stuff, it's whatever. That you really got to take it in stride and just keep focusing. You got to focus on what you know and what you like and what motivates you, because if you don't believe in yourself, then it's over. But honestly, like the moments where I've had someone come up to me and tell me how much they don't like my work have been some of the best moments. Like imagine you put all this effort into the show and you're showing all these people, and someone is so inspired to come up to you for 20 minutes and tell you how much they don't like your work. It's like, wow, I really touched you. Like I really inspired you to come and tell me all these things. I take that kind of positively. Maybe they had a bad day and maybe they don't like your work. And art is terribly subjective. I don't think everything I'm doing is going to be loved by everybody.
Look,
not everybody loved Picasso. Not everybody loved Van Gogh.
Right.
These artists, they died poor and homeless, and then 20 years later, after they die, they become world-renowned artistic superstars.
And like I said, yes, I'm like you. I agree 100%, Alexander. Haters. I think I have a meme out there somewhere right now that says, I don't have haters. I have closet fans. That's all it is. That's all it is. They're closet fans. They'll come around. Trust me. I may be dead like the others, but they'll come around. So, yeah. But you really hit on the next one. You're good at this. You're good. Because my next question was, what goes through your mind when you hear the term starving artist?
I've seen a few. I know some that are in the process of, somewhat starving artists, but I think that's a bit of a cliche, a bit of a meme. There's some truth to it. There's some falsehood. Everybody walks their own path.
Right. I mean, do you ever see Tell the Truth? Tell the truth now. Spite the devil. Okay. Because I know I have. You see some stuff, and it's just like with somebody. I know all babies are supposed to be cute, but let's just keep it real. I know I've seen an ugly baby. I can own it. I have. Where they pull the thing back. Whoa, oh, look at that cute little outfit. I had to find something to say, right? So, but with art, I mean, what do you do as an artist? Say another artist says, hey, Alex, can I get your opinion? And then they open up their portfolio and they show you something. You're like, do you fake it and go, wow, really interesting? Do you have words you use that doesn't offend but does support? Or do you just come right out as an artist? We owe each other the truth and say, look, I don't get it, or whatever. Is someone's art wrong?
No, I don't think someone's art is wrong.
Right.
But, like in this example that you're giving, from one artist to another, I would be honest with them. Of course, It's my responsibility.
Okay, pretend it's me. Trust me, and it shouldn't be hard if I say, oh. So how would you handle that? Because some of us may be in that position. Say we come to a showing and the artist is, oh, I see you're looking at, and they name the piece. What do you think? And you really hate it. Or it's just not doing anything for you. Give me an example of how you would express that.
Well, first of all, you have to be in a situation where that's appropriate. Not every moment is appropriate to critique someone's artwork. But if you are, I would tell them, okay, maybe like on a technical level, the composition could be a little bit better. Maybe the color palette was not the best choice. Maybe the shading or the proportions were a little bit off. Unless it's intentional, of course. But if someone's trying to draw a portrait and you see the level of the eyes are a little bit off, the proportion of the nose to the mouth is a little bit off, you could be honest with them. If you're really passionate about making art and you want to become a better artist every single day, then you should be willing and able to take constructive criticism. Of course, you have to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wrote that down actually. It's right here on my pad because in my coaching, I changed that vernacular, if you will. I changed that narrative and from constructive criticism to constructive insights. I like that because I'm not trying to criticize, but I'm trying to give some insight, some organic feedback. And it's not an easy thing to take. I mean, I have friends with writings and speeches and stuff. My friend Tim used to tell me all the time, why do you always ask me my opinion? And then when I give it to you, you can't take it. You get pissed off. I would too. I was like, what do you know? Right. Yeah. And so I was bad at it. It's not an easy thing for some of us. No. What about you? Do you solicit feedback from people like your family and friends, your instructors and stuff? And how do you correct something? Because I thought art just kind of just like brain dumped, just like came out of you.
Well, there's always like the impulsive regurgitation, if you want to use this brain dumping kind of thing. You have that stuff that comes out right away, but then it always gets refined. I've had pieces that I've been working on for years, and every single new iteration is a better version of the one that I made before. So I'm always working on something new. But there are like there's a very small group of people in my life that I reach out to and I show them everything that I do. And I look for their feedback because I know they really care about me and the feedback they're giving me is genuine and they want me to become a better person or a better artist or however you want to put it. And those are, this group of people, I always look for their feedback.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
I trust their opinion.
So you have a support system.
Of course, as every artist should, as every person should,
Every person. There it is. Excellent. So what about this one? How difficult is it for you? Because you've had some showings, and people buy right off the wall. How hard is it for you to put a price as a new artist, a recent graduate, to put a price on your work? Because a lot of people say, well, he's not famous yet. So how do you know where to set that price? Who is that? Was that part of the schooling? You took a test on that?
It should be. I feel like they don't teach that enough. But here's where the economics and the entrepreneurial background comes in. There's stuff with the artwork that is very much quantifiable, like the amount of hours that you put into it, the value of the materials that you're using. And of course, the expertise that I have picked up over the years. So, I can calculate, okay, I spent this many hours working on it. I used this, I bought this canvas cost me that much. And then that's the baseline. And then everything else on top of that is like, my own, though it's small now, my own celebrity, how I value myself. Basically. Right. And then if you sell a piece at $500 and that's your baseline, the next one you can sell it at $1,000 and then that becomes your baseline. So that's the way I see it. And then every time you sell a new piece, you set a different level and hopefully through there you can grow and people can see the value in your work. But that's actually a really tricky thing with the fine art market is who decides the value of an artwork. Ultimately, it's whoever's willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
That determines how much a piece is worth. But I'm not going to get into controversy with fine art markets and dealing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother world, and a lot of people think that it's that if you're into fine art, you're a snob. It's not for poor people. It's not for middle America. This and the other, and that's not exactly true either. Because there'd be why have museums and things like that, But as far as collecting, I get it. So I want to get deeper, if we could, inside of something you said in your bio about using your work to bridge the gap between your identity, your roots, and your culture. Talk about that.
Right. So growing up, it's always been really it's been difficult for me because I come from an Eastern European background. I'm born in Chicago, and then my parents are both from very different cultures. Though they have a lot of similarity, over thousands of years, they share with each other. But Romanians and Bulgarians are very different people, and then even more different than Americans. So my whole life has been like
a triangle.
Yeah, it's a weird little cultural triangle there. Kids at school trying to figure out, like, where is Romania? Like, is that even a real country? Where is Bulgaria? I can't, like.
I know I kind of asked you that in the green room. I was like, hey, are they near? You said they share a border. As if, yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. So a lot of, and then like I experienced their cultures from the outside, because I was never, I wasn't born in Romania or Bulgaria. I only experienced their cultures through them or through some kind of lens. So, it's trying to, like, a lot of my artwork tries to understand my background, like within this context of being an American or whatever, this amalgamation of three cultures that I am. So it's like cathartic in a way that, I'll make something that's trying to like process these little fragments of different cultures that are in my life, and then mixing it with, my own, what I've experienced.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been watching, of course, because I remember when I really started paying attention when I saw your mom posted the picture of you holding the umbrella, walking up the walkway at the Stand Magic, coming back from Paris. And my heart broke. Seriously, it did, Alexander. It did, because I was like, man, he just got there. I hope this doesn't snuff out his ember to want to do this. And you didn't. And so here we are. I love this picture. Here we are on your website where you say exactly what it's all about. You're a multimedia artist based in Chicago. So let's take a look and just kind of walk us through it as we look at it. Tell us about this one.
So this is a piece this is a series actually that was inspired by Kazimir Malevich. He is a early 1900s Russian avant-garde artist.
Okay.
And I came across his work 2 years ago, and I guess 3 years ago now, since it's 2022. Wow.
Yeah.
And this was a point where I was transitioning in the way I was making artwork, and I didn't really know what to do. And I was talking to my professor. I was like, well, I really like this guy, and I really like his work, but I'm not sure why. And he said, just take his pieces and try and copy it a little bit and make something of it out of your own. And then hopefully through that recreation of his artwork, you can understand
him better.
Yeah. And understand yourself better. Like, why do you like this stuff?
And did that happen?
Yeah. It's like deconstructing someone else's artwork really helps in terms of like understanding their work and understanding how to make it. And then of course you got to spend a lot of time researching and understanding, like, fundamentally how do they come to these ideas.
Do these colors, Alexander, I'm just saying, sorry for butting in like that, but I'm 59. I can forget just like that what I was gonna say. So you see how you have the red, the yellow, the indigo, or whatever the color is? I see it in both of these. What's the message? Why are these colors the same over here? It must mean something.
Well, I chose those colors in particular because I wanted to work with really simple figures and forms, but then also really fundamental colors, because I didn't want to, like, the idea of this guy's artwork was to, this was like uh, post feudal Russia, where the high class, they were all really into like super impressionistic, like really hyper detailed paintings of like kings and lords. And this was like coming into the Russian Revolution, so they're like, we want to do away with all of that, and we want to focus on the fundamentals of art making, which are like squares, circles, four-sided shapes, and simple colors: black, white, green, well, red, blue, and yellow, primary colors. And so that's where those colors are coming from. But the
Now,
reason why,
go
sorry,
go ahead.
the reason why the shapes are all the same is because I'm using templates. And it's like I designed this like kind of matrix type thing,
Yeah.
where I'm recycling the same templates and combining them in different ways. So I'm like using a combination of 4 images and using them in different ways to produce a lot of different images. So it's like restricting myself to like a small number of things to make a bunch of different things.
Interestingly enough, look at this, what you have, everybody. Pay attention to the print down here, the typography, where Alexander says, many of the quotes are pulled from the album Black on Both Sides by Mos Def, a rapper. Now, tell us how the motivation, because you say here, during the printing process, I decided to include illustrations and quotes from songs I was listening to at the time. What would make you do that? Since it would seem like the world of Mos Def, the world that you live in, and the world of this artist that you're speaking through right here are so diametrically opposed. How does that all come together like it has here?
Well, one of my intentions was to try and act as impulsively as I can, because a lot of the work in the past, well, before this piece, was very calculated and very like everything has to be super exact. And like Mos Def, I've listened to a lot of his work, a lot of his music growing up, and that album is one of my favorite albums of all time. And as I was making these, it's a brilliant album. And I was listening to it, and I just wanted to include those quotes in there. And it really is like an intersection between my experiences, listening to Mos Def, coming across him, and like hip hop and graffiti art and stuff like that being a big part of me growing up, and then trying to combine that with the work of some Russian guy from the early 1900s. It's like trying to like mix these two worlds together. I just thought it was a really interesting, like I didn't think super hard about it at the time. I just kind of did it impulsively, and then looking at it after the fact, I see how
just letting it organically create itself.
Right.
Wow. So Alexander, so when you have, like, clearly this is a collection, right? Mm-hmm. How do you know, is it like a song? I'm a musician, and I've written hundreds of songs during my career, and I always write the title. I name the song afterwards. So how does that, it's almost like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Mm. So do you name the collection before you begin it, or do you name the collection after you finish it?
I find that a collection will be, you'll start with a very clear idea, and then sometimes by the time you get to the end, it's grown into something else. So I like to wait until the end usually to name things.
Wow. And now here, I just saw you said you used some butcher paper. Mm-hmm. So it seems like there's just so much freedom that the wonderful thing I see that I'm a little bit envious of. Oh, I love this one over here on the left. That one. Right? Wait a minute. See it? On the far left? Mm-hmm. I love that. So it speaks to me. So that's a real thing. Do you remember the very first piece someone purchased from you and how it made you feel?
I do. I was thinking of a couple of different ones, but there was the first like significant piece that someone bought for me was actually bought by a good friend of mine from middle school. He came to one of my shows, and he said something along the lines of like, I know this is like I know this is gonna be worth more in the future, and I just want to invest in your work or something like that.
Yes.
And he bought a painting I did that was inspired by the Romanian Revolution.
Wow.
And
Awesome. So what now we're on to something completely different, sort of, kind of. Not
Mhm.
really when we look at the back of the jacket on the right panel, but
Mhm.
now we're on to the print work, as you
Mhm.
mentioned, onto the clothing. Talk about that process and what we're looking at here, if you could.
Sure. So these pieces took the same imagery that I was working with in the collection that you saw before, and then I just applied them onto garments. At the time, I got this brilliant opportunity to work with this print studio. Excuse me. That we're in Chicago. They moved out to Atlanta. They're called Loud Global.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to them. One of like I'm so grateful for the opportunity that they gave me because they really let me realize all this stuff. They gave me their access to their studio, like near the end of my time with them to make all these pieces there, and they were super supportive and forever grateful. And
Oh, there's
this
that
was really
jacket.
yeah, that's the one you were talking about.
Yes.
And this was like my first foray into fashion. I saw this really cool Raf Simons jacket when I was deep diving in the internet, and I was like, I want to do something like that. And I did what I could. I can't really cut and sew yet, but I can print, fairly well. And I have these, I got these clothes that I could pick up, and I just, I went for it. I gave it a shot.
Right. Now, this black and white piece here, this kind of looks like it would be what you mentioned earlier in the screening portion. We're talking about the screen printing of a negative.
Hmm.
Is that what this is?
It could be. You could. That's the kind of thing you would use as a negative, but that was just like I wanted to do some cool graphic manipulation to the photos
Uh-huh.
because this was all made into a lookbook kind of magazine, and I would print it on spreads, and that was like to add some variety to the pages. But yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful. And yeah, I remember when I saw this online, the jacket, I was like, I want that. I think I even texted your mom and there was a hoodie.
yeah,
There was a
you know what?
hoodie I saw that I wanted, and I hit her up. Of course, she was traveling somewhere in the world, or that was the excuse she gave me. I think she had it on, so I think she pretty much she didn't want to give it up. That's what it
You,
was.
you didn't get one in the end.
No,
When are you coming to Chicago? You don't
give
have
me
to
a
answer
phone
that right
around
now.
noon.
You
I'm
know,
just kidding.
next time you come to Chicago, send me a message on Facebook and I'll get you a whole package. I still got plenty of those in my closet. I can hook you up.
I would love that. I'll wear it. I swear, I'll wear it on a inside something. Something. Here
You
we
can,
are. The big jaunt across the lake to Paris. What was your greatest memory? What's your fondest memory of that experience, even though it was cut short by the pandemic? What is the one thing that you hope to never forget about that time over there?
That's a really good question.
Thank you. Ooh, that scared me. That picture right there. That picture
Yeah.
right there with that arm. Is that supposed to scare people?
No,
Okay,
but it
good.
does have some kind of like you know, 40s horror movie
Yeah,
kind
like
of vibe
somebody's
to it.
creeping up the stairs and you're up there
Yeah,
sleeping.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can.
Um,
Ooh,
being in a like totally new environment by myself, trying to navigate it all, like in Paris as well, just like the general like I remember the emotions that I had and the feelings of like walking to school every day. That was cool. Just
yes.
like just being in a new
These are fellow artists.
yeah, those are my classmates.
Yeah, I noticed they're all women.
I mean, a majority, like 70% of my school
Uh-huh.
was women. There
Uh-huh.
aren't a lot of
Oh,
guys.
no wonder your eyes were swollen from crying when you came home, walking up the walkway with that umbrella that day. You didn't want to leave all your uh-huh. So it really is the city of love or something. Anyway, I'm just kidding you. Listen, I want to go over really briefly. Hold on, I'm going to come back. I'd love to show everybody a little bit of your Instagram real quick. Then I got a game for us to play real quick so we can give away some great swag to one of the lucky viewers today. But let me get over here really quickly and show some of the work, because there's some different stuff over on the Instagram. We're going to give you guys the links here in just a moment of where you can go in and do your own thing. Like I just did, show you the website, and here we are on the Instagram page. And so just if you want to, I'll scroll. If you see something you want to talk about, tell me to stop. If it stands out as something important to you, or I'm sure it all does, but I love this one. This one in the middle, the blue and the white. See, I love that. So this is all your work, pictures and everything?
Yeah, of course. Unless stated otherwise, but I don't think there's anything that I've posted recently. No, all of that's my stuff. All the photos that I've taken. I really like doors. I take a lot of photos of doors. I feel like there's a lot that you can read into. And especially when you travel.
Doors are opportunity.
Yeah. And it's, it's like, I don't know, looking at architecture in other places. It's really cool.
I got to ask, because I have seen this one here with the rug hanging over the thing several times, and it always makes me stop. And I go, well, wait a minute. Is this, help us out here. Because I'm like, well, is the art the rug? Or is the art the way it's hanging on that thing? Or is the art the way it's hanging on that thing next to that other thing? Explain this from your lens.
Would you like to click on it?
I would.
So the art piece is the frame with the rug. The thing behind it just happens to be there. But so that's not a real rug. That's an image of a rug printed on rice paper.
Oh.
So it's like some semblance of a rug. It's a reproduction of a rug. And what that whole thing is a batator. And what that is like all the old moms and grandmas in Romania, they've got these metal frames in the neighborhoods, and they take their rugs out to the frames and they hang them up there, and they've got these sticks and they beat the dirt and the dust off of the rug. But there's so much more to that, and it's like it's a kind of it's an object that if you haven't lived with it or seen it, you wouldn't really understand it as well as like a Romanian or a Bulgarian or a Ukrainian would.
Yeah,
because they all kind of have one of those.
So this is a fond memory for you.
Yeah. It's not just a frame for people to clean their rugs. It's like the doors, it's a gateway. It's like a meeting place. I would wake up in the morning, I'd go meet my friends by the frame, and we'd hang out there. We'd figure out what we're doing during the day. Maybe someone brings a soccer ball and you use that as the goalpost and you play there, and you'd be walking home and you can hear like the smacking of the rug echoing through the neighborhood. So like there are all these memories and sights and sounds that you can attach.
Yes. I have that kind of, I get it. Because when I was a little kid and we'd go visit my aunt here in Chicago, and we were in Michigan, there were railroad tracks behind her house, and I could hear the horns and stuff, and I loved the way it was. And also like people that grow up in towns where there's they ring a bell from the church steeple, and you grow up hearing that or that. Yeah. Awesome. So listen, you guys, I'm going to put these banners up where you can head over, and we're going to also drop these links inside the chat so you can go directly after the show and check out even more of this great work by Alexander Tsavov. But are you ready to play a game real quick so somebody can walk?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're going to, you know what, today I think I'm going to, okay, here we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to Cash App, so we call it a Visa gift card. But I'm a Cash App $10 to whoever is the winner here today. Alexander is playing for someone. I'm going to tell you how that's going to work here in a minute. I'm going to pop some photos, some artwork up, and all I need you to do, Alexander, you need to get 4 right. Get 4 right for someone to win. All you have to do is tell me who the artist is. Name that artist. And I was going to, in case you were really crappy at it, I had one of your own ready, but just to help you out. But I got faith in you. So here we go. Number 1.
Van Gogh.
What's his first name?
Vincent.
Oh, okay. 1 down, 3 to go.
Ooh. Man. I don't know. Oh
my God, American Gothic?
American Gothic, yeah.
That's a clue.
Can't remember his name.
Norman Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'll give you a clue. This is John the Baptist, painted by.
Wow. Doing pretty.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci?
Doesn't it almost look like John the Baptist is giving you the finger at first? I had to double take, for real. I had to double take. This is should be easy. Here we go.
I'm gonna go with Georgia O'Keeffe.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, George O'Keeffe, known for the flowers. Okay. This should be fairly easy.
Frida Kahlo.
Yes, because she always had her own face in it, and she was so morbid. But I love the story. Diego Rivera, the whole thing. So that's 3. You need 1 more. Okay. This is a tough one, I think.
Could you give me a hint?
He's known for his mustache.
Would it be Dali?
Nope. Guess who? Okay, let me give you this.
Wait, would it be Hitler?
It is. Yes. I didn't even know he was an artist till I was in here digging around. Yes, absolutely right. That was him. And last one, and this one, I'm sure you saw this one hanging over there in Europe.
That's a good one.
The Mona Lisa after 4 drinks. That's the giveaway. Okay, I want you to pick a number, Alexander, between 1 and 20. And I'm going to go into the comments at the top. No, from the bottom and go up.
Let me go with number 8.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good Lord. Twice in 1 week, Sherry McQueen. Comment, it looks like angel wings. Well, it paid off for you today, Sherry McQueen. Congratulations. She won a book yesterday. I guess I'll just stick a $10 bill in it and send it in the mail to you. Congratulations. That was great. Good job there, especially on the Hitler. I thought for sure I was going to stump you on that. Was that one of the classes where you had to number and draw the line to the painting to the artist? Did you have?
Oh, man. I had so many art history classes. You basically, you would have like exams where a portion of it you have to name, date, and the artist. Like date. It's a lot of, like 50 pieces. Then you have to like write analysis of. It was exhausting.
I couldn't have done it. I know. Congratulations, seriously. On all your great achievements, and you're just getting started. I had to get you on here because I looked and I saw the new work and all the stuff you're doing, and I was like, wow. I mean, it seems like just yesterday you were leaving to start this career, and now look at you, just such an inspiration. And we love your family, and we love all that you guys do to contribute to all of the history here in the Chicagoland area. For those of you out there that would like to see more of Alexander's work, head over to this. Don't even ask me to just look at it, do a screenshot, whatever you need to do. Sherry McQueen, can you drop that in? I know Chera is watching. You can drop it in if you'd like. And we're going to run that across the bottom. And if Instagram is your jam, you can find them over there and check it out. What's coming up around the corner? Anything we can look forward to? What you got coming up?
Definitely. I just started a fellowship with this studio called Spudnik Press.
That's what caught my attention.
Yeah. It's, thank you. It's like 8 months with their studio, and I've got some really big ideas for pieces I want to do. So I'm going to have some new work coming out by the end of the year, right before I leave. I'm going back to Europe. I'm going to get my master's.
Yay! Does your mom know you're going?
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Oh, well, she's probably going to get the apartment right next door.
Hey, it's great for her. She's gonna have a great reason to come out and visit me on vacation.
Yes,
You know?
yes, we will. So
Yeah.
there it is. And one other thing, what's I gonna say? Oh, when people, Power of We is coming up April 28th, and we're gonna do something. We're gonna, whether it's a day trip or whatever, that weekend over the Fulton Market. What should we order? What's your favorite thing on the menu over there?
Well, it's hard to say because the menu is seasonal, so by then it'll
Oh,
have changed. But right now, there's this like tandoori butternut squash dish that is fabulous. I love
really?
a good butternut squash. I made this butternut squash medley the other day with some prosciutto. Great stuff. But
You really can cook, huh?
yeah, when you come over here to Chicago, you'll have to come over for dinner. And I'll get
Well,
you one of those hoodies
is
too.
that an invitation?
Of course. I'll cook you dinner, no problem.
Can Brian come?
Of course.
You heard it, Chera. Yay!
I'm sure
Yay.
she would love to have the both of you
Oh
over.
my God, I'm finally making it off the front porch. That's just where we hang out when I'm with your mom. Alexander, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day you've given us to start with all this great art. It just really is beautiful work. I can't wait to see what you do. I tell you this much. Here's the prediction for you and all of you. This is legacy in the making. I'm telling you, one day, some of our grandkids and grandnieces and nephews, they'll be reading in their history books about this great artist named Alexander Tsavov. And I'll be able to say somewhere, I knew him when. So great job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you starting your day with us.
Oh, I appreciate it too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And I appreciate all of you. Why? Because when you show up like you do every single day at 8 a.m., we help each other recognize the greatest promise known to man, that where two of us comes together or more with a wonderful mindset of service, a heart of service, and just being there for each other and sharing illuminated conversations, something wonderful will happen. It happened today, and it'll happen again tomorrow if and when you meet me out front for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Get out and be great, and be even greater to someone else. Bye-bye. Thanks again, Alex.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.